Good evening. As no doubt you know, we're living in uncertain times. We're living in times when the security of ourselves and those that we care about is suddenly in question. And this is a big issue. There are many, many questions. But the questions are many, but they're difficult questions. The answers are few, but they're even more difficult. How can we be safe when it looks like we're living in an unsafe world? Well, we will try to answer these questions tonight. We have a gentleman who will be joining us a little bit later on, and he's going to be giving us an understanding of why we are where we are and what we can do about it, at least on an individual level, community level, and at institution level. But all that and so much more later on during our interview segment that we know and love, The Insight. But in the meantime, all has been happening across the country, lots of things happening, lots of good news, lots of confusing news. And to give us an idea of what we have in store for you, here are the highlights. Following its adoption of a diplomatic stance to clear its name, the Judiciary is fighting back, with the Supreme Court retaliating by prohibiting Senior Counsel Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi and associates from making submissions before the court. This on a day that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua suspended his petition against a judge. Amidst the recent tragic deaths occurring at short-stay rentals, TV47 tonight delves into the transformation in the hospitality industry.
The criminals have taken advantage. They found a very good loophole. I can be able to do my things in A and B, yeah, for 5 days, for 6 days, for 1 month, and nobody will be able to understand what I'm doing.
We explore the sudden shift in preference from traditional hotel rooms to short-stay platforms like Airbnb. And Shakahola cult leader Paul Mackenzie, alongside 94 others, marched through the corridors of the Shanzu Law Courts, where they faced charges of terrorism, radicalization, and other related offenses. All that and more tonight on The Daily Report.
Mkiwa wafuasi wa Good News International Ministries, ambalo ni kundi la uhalifu lililopangwa.
Those stories and many, many others in our bulletin tonight. And here to help us is Rhoda Nyamai, our sign language presenter, I should say. Let's get right into it. Controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie, his wife Rhoda Maweo, and 93 other co-accused have pleaded not guilty to terrorism, radicalization, among other charges, and they will now be detained until the 8th of February. Elizabeth Atieno now reports.
On Thursday, Shakahola cult leader Paul Mackenzie and 94 others walked through the corridors of the Shanzu Law Courts, where they were charged with terrorism, radicalization, among other charges. Appearing before Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Joe Omido, the accused were also charged with engaging in organized criminal activities. Mackenzie and his wife were separately charged with being in possession of an article including CDs, DVDs, books and pamphlets connected with an offense under the Prevention of Terrorism Act, items that they used to instigate the Commission of Terrorism Act at the church.
Kujihusisha na vitendo vya uhalifu wa jinai na hivyo kuhatarisha maisha na kusababisha vifo vya wanachama na wafuasi 429.
It is alleged that on diverse dates between the year 2020 and 2023, members of Good News International Ministries organized criminal activities, thereby endangering lives and leading to the death of 429 members. The activities are said to have taken place at Mackenzie area of Shakahola Forest and Chakama location of Magarini within Kilifi County.
Accused persons, save for number 4 and number 92, will be remanded in the respective GK prison facilities that they were remanded previously, pursuant to the orders that had been issued in miscellaneous 77 and 152.
On Wednesday, Mackenzie and 30 of the suspects were arraigned before Malindi High Court to face murder charges, but they could not plead until a mental assessment is carried out on them. The prosecution told the court that it needed 14 days to conclude the mental examination of the accused persons. Lady Justice Tande Mugure granted the period and ordered that they be taken back to court on the 6th of February 2023 to take a plea. Further, the prosecution led by Senior State Counsel Victor Mule, Peter Kiprop and Jami Yamina opposed the release of all the accused on bond.
Concerning 65 of the accused persons who are before me, which related to issues to do with the pretrial detention and therefore issues to do with bonds, it is my view that this matter should now be handled by a different court.
If found guilty, Mackenzie and his co-accused will face a jail term not exceeding 30 years or life sentence for facilitating criminal activities. Next week, the accused will be facing more charges at Tononoka Children's Court and Mombasa High Court, where they will be charged with violence against children and manslaughter, respectively. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
Now, our next story is still in the realm of crime, and police in the Muguga area of Kiambu County have arrested one suspect who allegedly invaded a woman's house and allegedly stabbed her and her boyfriend. Investigations continue as the 43-year-old suspect awaits to be arraigned in court. Meanwhile, CS Aisha Jumwa has condemned the rising cases of femicide in the country, calling on security agencies to fast-track the investigation process.
It is a case that has left many in this Muguga area located in Kabete constituency shocked. A woman and her lover living in this house were attacked and stabbed.
Ni mzee mmoja waliachana na bibi yake anaitwa Kemani, waliachana na bibi. Sasa bibi akatoka kwake akakuja rent nyumba hapa Kiamba. Bwana amemtaimu asubuhi akienda kazi, akamsukuma akakuja na yeye huku kwa Maria Melent, akamdunga na visu na yule jamaa walikuwa na yeye kwa nyumba.
The neighbors saying they heard screams for help, and their response to this call caused the suspect to lock himself in the house, hindering his escape from the scene of crime. The victims were found with serious injuries and were rushed to Thogoto Hospital for treatment.
Bibi aliumia kidogo, lakini kijana aliumia sana na amepelekwa PCA Thogoto ambako anaendelea na matibabu.
The suspect was also arrested and detained at the Muguga police station, and further investigations continue as the suspect awaits to be arraigned.
Na DCI ambaye tuko naye hapa anaendelea kurecord statements za hawa wale waliona tukio likitokea.
Meanwhile, Cabinet Secretary for Gender Affairs Aisha Jumwa has strongly condemned the surge in incidents of violence against women, expressing deep concern over the recent increase in the number of tragic murders in the past week. The CS asking security personnel to fast-track investigations and have the perpetrators brought to book. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
Now, this story is closely related to what we've been covering. Tonight, TV47 explores the transformation in the hospitality industry, as there has been a sudden shift in preference from hotel rooms, the traditional hotel rooms, to short-stay rental houses. As the year 2024 began, the short-stay accommodation platforms like Airbnb have supposedly turned into crime hotspots, with 2 gruesome murders occurring in less than 2 weeks in the month of January. As Moege William reports, stakeholders are now urging for the regulation of these facilities.
In a span of 2 weeks, 2 women were reported murdered in short-stay residence within the country's capital. On the 3rd of January, the lifeless body of 26-year-old Starlet Wahu was found in an Airbnb in Nairobi's South B estate. A post-mortem examination indicating she was strangled and had a deep cut wound on her leg in the thigh which had cut her vein, leading to her losing a lot of blood and ultimately her death. 11 days later, at Nairobi's Roysambu area, Rita Waeni's dismembered body and with the head missing was discovered at another short-stay apartment. Police arrested 2 suspects in connection with the gruesome murder of the 20-year-old third-year student at JKUAT. The 2 incidents now raising questions about the security measures taken by sector players in the industry. Francis Njenga, an investor in the hospitality sector, manages both a traditional hotel and a short-stay apartment in Kiambu County. He sheds light on the operations of these 2 facilities, acknowledging a surge in short-term rentals demand. According to Njenga, the increased interest in the short-stay apartments is attributed to their capacity to provide a more personalized and local experience, distinguishing it from conventional hotels.
People are shifting there because it's more private, actually, and it is more comfortable. Because for you to run a B&B, you guarantee somebody a fridge, a meko, a dispenser. You see, in a room, in a normal lodging, you don't give all.
The most common short-stay rental platform locally happens to be Airbnb, an American-founded global platform founded in the year 2008, where users can find a wide range of accommodations. But Njenga points out that lately, such platforms have been marred by security lapses due to factors like offline booking occasioned by zero regulations to govern them, unlike the measures put in place by managers of traditional hotels.
Watu ni watu wameanza biashara yenye haikuwa kwa limelight, and I believe that is why going forward their business has to be identified.
The A&Bs have really taken, it's a good business, yes, but we're just saying, can we have some order? There's not have a republic where everybody's doing what he wants. In the name of what? In the name of A&Bs.
Security expert Enoch Makanga warns that if county governments do not take swift action and put in place necessary measures to regulate short-stay rentals, the sector may turn to be a crime haven.
Criminals have taken advantage. They found a very good loophole. I can be able to do my things in A&B, yeah, for 5 days, for 6 days, for 1 month, and nobody will be able to understand what I'm doing.
And the clarion call being made by stakeholders in the hospitality industry is the regulation of both people in the hotel industry and the Airbnb industry. Moige William, TV47.
Now, away from matters crime to matters education, and learning at Isongo Secondary School was paralyzed after all 17 TSC teachers were transferred to various schools within Mumias sub-county in Kakamega County. Mumias Deputy County Commissioner Paul Langat and the County Director for Education confirmed that TSC has transferred 17 teachers, citing security challenges. Chichi Josephine with more.
This was the situation today at St. Stephen's Isongo Secondary School in Mumias East Kakamega County. Learning activities were put to a halt after all 17 teachers employed by the Teacher Service Commission TSC were transferred by the Commission following protests by parents and students over poor 2023 KCSE exam results.
Mimi naomba Wizara ya Elimu. Sisi ni Wakenya walipa ushuru, tunalipa ushuru kwa walimu. Hatutaki kupiga magoti kwa serikali.
This is after a section of parents and students attacked the school principal over the recently released Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education 2023 results, with the parents harassing and forcing the principal out of the school premises.
Nataka tuweze tufikie ofisi ya juu ya TSC, tufanye negotiation nao, waturejeshe walimu wenye walikuwa hapa, na kama sio hivyo, kama watatupea alternative ya same number of teachers kutoka shule zingine.
A section of key education stakeholders has strongly condemned the incident, terming it shameful.
We condemn what happened in this school and in this area. We want to come out clear as the sponsor that whatever happened was unfortunate, and we really apologize on behalf of the community.
Itakuwaje kosa kidogo kama hii TSC inaamua kutoa walimu wote safari moja? Hii ni kutofikiria maswala ya watoto ambao sisi tumezaa.
Elsewhere, political leaders have continued to condemn recent attacks witnessed on teachers and especially on high school principals who have been physically attacked by parents in various schools across the country on allegations of poor performance in national examinations.
Kuna principal, kuna walimu wamepewa kazi wafanye kazi yao. Sisi hatutaki kuendea huko mara tunaingilia mwalimu, tunaingilia principal. Hizo cases mnaona kwa TV ni vitu ya ajabu.
Vihiga Constituency Member of Parliament Ernest Kagesi has stated that such attacks should be treated as acts of crime targeting civil servants, further indicating that the government has laid out formal structures through which dissatisfied parents could express their grievances.
Nyinyi community, kama kuna mwalimu anafanya makosa kwa shule yenu, just bring the report. That's why I'm here. Kuja tuambieni makosa ya huyu jamani A, B, C, D. Si kuna local TSC hapa. Sintawaita.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
Huyo mwenye mmeona kwa mitandao.
Now, businesswoman and entrepreneur Lizzy W has been eulogized as a woman who had the interest of the young generation at heart. Speaking during her memorial service at ACK St. Joseph of Arimathea Church here in Nairobi, mourners poured praises on the late W, saying her death has dealt them a big blow. Attending the service was former Murang'a women representative Sabina Chege, Kiamu woman representative Anne Wamuratha, and other leaders, both political and religious. W is a founder of NIBS Technical College, Lizzy W Preparatory School, and the Emery Hotel. She leaves behind 9 children and several grandchildren, alongside a number of legacies due to her nature of always wanting to see development in various organizations.
Always on the go and saw great potential in everyone. As much as we admire her work so much, to us, at the end of the day, she was just Shosho. She always gave us chocolates, warm hugs, and consistently opened her home to us to have sleepovers whenever we wanted. She ensured that her home was our home too.
Sister Lizzy told me she was the one who used to take care of me when I was born, and she was put in charge of my life when I was a baby. She used to love telling me how when there was no, mom was too busy to cook, and I had to eat baby formula. That time it was called Farex. There was no cereal at that time, and grape juice. She loved that part of feeding me.
Lizzy, we are broken that you have gone to a journey of no return. You never said you were leaving, nor did you tell us goodbye. We received the news on that grey Sunday and wished that it was a nightmare we would eventually wake up from. But no, it's a new phase, era, and time to look back at the memories we all had.
I went and met Liz. She guided me. She became my friend. And we also started Murang'a Daughters together with Liz W and many other people who are here.
May her soul rest in eternal peace. Fear has spread in the village of Jipe in Taita Taveta constituency regarding the ownership of a piece of land. This is after the wife of the first president, Mama Ngina Kenyatta, and former member of parliament for that area, Basil Kritikos, went to court to seek ownership documents for the 2,500-acre piece of land. The residents claim that the land was given to them by the 2 individuals many years ago, and now they're appealing to the president, Dr. William Ruto, to intervene. Led by Taveta Member of Parliament, John Bwire, who is also a member of the same village. These residents have stated that they have all the documentation to show how they were granted ownership of the land. They will be going to court to defend their land ownership rights, while requesting President Ruto to intervene so that they can obtain title deeds.
Hiyo ujumbe tumekukabidhi pia hapa hiyo barua. Tumekabidhi pia barua ambayo iliandikwa na wakili wa Basil Kritikos tarehe 2 mwezi wa 8 mwaka 2013. Tukakukabidhi pia hapa affidavit ya Basil Kritikos ambaye aliiapa tarehe 10 mwezi wa 11 mwaka 2015 akisema kwamba amepeana ardhi ya Jipe iwe ifanywe kwa wakaazi wa Jipe. Lakini siku chache tumeambiwa tena Basil Criticus na Mama Ngina Kinyatta wanataka tena hii ardhi irudi kwao na wapatiwe title deed na serikali. Sisi tuna wasiwasi sana. Tunaomba umpelekee Mheshimiwa Rais hizi stakabadhi ambazo tuko nazo. Aende hakikishe watu hawa wa Jipe wamepewa ardhi yao. Ama watu wa Jipe mnasemaje? Watu wa Jipe mnasemaje? Eti niwaulize, watu wa Jipe niwaulize. Si ardhi ilipeanwa kwenyu? Si Mama Ngina Kinyatta na Basil Criticus waliandika barua wamepeana ardhi? Basil akaandika affidavit amesema kwamba pia amepeana hii ardhi? Sasa lakini leo anashtaki tena anasema kwamba apewe hii ardhi. Mtakubali kweli? Sasa nyinyi mmesema serikali ifanyeje? Mnataka serikali iwapatie hii shamba? Iwagawanyie? Iwapatie title kuanzia Mkocheni mpaka hapa Mkwajuni? Wale wakazi wa Jipe wapewe title yao? Kwa hivyo huu ujumbe uende kwa Rais William Samoei Ruto. Na mmesema nyinyi shamba pia wewe tutamwangalia vizuri, si ndio? Ama namna gani, si ndio?
Now, families in Gatundu North, where farms were flooded by water from the Karimenu Dam, are afraid that landslides may happen once the water reaches their homesteads. Residents of Iruri, Kanyoni, Gitwamba and Kiriko have expressed fear over an impending catastrophe due to the collapse of some of the structures in their homes, such as pit latrines, and the filling in of others. Mike Kagwongo with the details.
Gatundu North inhabitants say the dam, which they believed will solve some of their issues, such as lack of water in their homes, has really made their things worse for them. They claim that the dam has caused them untold suffering by creating a perfect breeding ground for mosquitoes and has also made them suffer from bad colds. At the home of James Karaoke, a pit latrine caved in on Monday evening, leaving the family with nowhere to relieve themselves and in fear of losing their entire home to the dam. The locals claim that the multi-billion mega dam that was commissioned by former President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2022 has been the cause of their misery since water impoundment started in May 2022.
Tagu 2022. Marikaanza kuhesabu vitu, makasema matalipa na hakuna kitu manawashia watu. Sasa tuko na mara kama 3-4 manahesabu na kuhesabu hatosheki.
Karaoke asserted that most pit latrines within the homesteads near the dam are almost filled with water and might soon collapse or cave in. Ann Nduta, a resident, raised concerns that families could be staring at hunger since the water submerged their farms and destroyed all crops.
Mama mwingine alienda kwa hicho ikabomoka. Saa hii hatuna mahali ya kwenda choo, hakuna kitu ya kukula huku. Tunaambiwa tuhame hapa, hii maji tunakuja kuvulia manguo hapa.
In November last year, Water Cabinet Secretary Zachary Njeru, during a visit to assess the dam, announced that the government had set aside 150 million shillings to compensate and relocate some 122 residents whose properties, including land and homes, were on the verge of being submerged by the already full dam. The CS, who was accompanied by Principal Secretary Julius Karir and Adi Water Service Board Acting CEO, Engineer Joseph Kamau, diverged that valuation of the residents' properties is being fast-tracked in a bid to speed up the process. Njeru said there were a total of 34 households that were affected by the dam, and the process of compensation and relocating them was underway. Area residents have now pleaded with the government to fast-track their compensation and relocation process.
Na hii matatizo tunapitia hapa. Tunayapitia juu ya hii serikali. Kama serikali ingeingilia juu ya hii mambo, hatungekuwa hapa.
Na already kuna landslide, tumewaambia iko, na hata mkikuja kwa ground mtaona iko. So kujeni muwasaidie hawa watu.
Mike Kagwango, TV47.
Now over to politics. Despite Azimio la Umoja One Kenya leader Raila Odinga warning leaders in some parts of the country against premature campaigns, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has shown the possibility of hitting the campaign trail in a bid to popularize his 2027 presidential bid. However, key questions arise. Can Musyoka vie for the presidential seat without Odinga's support? And is Odinga prepared to endorse him in the first place? Well, Mike Kagwango with that analysis.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga has in the recent past been vocal against politicians' premature campaigns ahead of 2027 polls. The ODM party leader insisting that early campaigns are a recipe for chaos within the coalition's party. Besides denying elected leaders the much needed opportunity to work for the electorate. However, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka is angling at taking to the campaign trail soon after being endorsed by Wiper delegates to go for the top seat.
Sikiza, kwa roho safi, Wakenya nasema Raila Odinga tosha mara ya tatu.
Musyoka has supported Odinga's 3 unsuccessful presidential runs in 2013, 2017 and 2022, and now some of his allies maintain that they will not allow him to back Odinga for the 4th time.
We will present his candidature to the party organs in due course. Kalonzo Musyoka's servant leadership resonates with all Kenyans, offering them a compelling vision and a renewed hope for the failure of our great nation.
Raila has been on the ballot as a presidential candidate for 5 times without success, with some of his allies now suggesting that he will back Kalonzo in 2027. On Monday, Yatta MP Robert Basil Nkoi urged his Kiharu counterpart Ndindi Nyoro to bolt out of Kenya Kwanza and join Azimio in order to be nominated as Musyoka's running mate in 2027. However, those close to the Wiper leader intimate that Kalonzo may settle for former Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho, Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna or Unguja MP Opiyo Wandayi as his running mate, in case he vies. Musyoka says soon after being endorsed by Wiper delegates, he will traverse the country to meet Kenyans who he hopes will overwhelmingly vote for him in 2027.
Of course, National Executive Council do not have the mandate to endorse a presidential candidate at this stage. But nothing prevents that presidential candidate from covering the length and the breadth of this country, introducing himself, consulting. Those are the words.
Mike Kagwango, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, tonight, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has rescinded his decision to petition the removal of Justice Esther Maina, citing Chief Justice Martha Kome's invite for dialogue with the executive arm of government. Gashagua's about turn was met with outrage by the opposition, which dared him to present evidence or face legal action for defaming the judge. This on a day that the judiciary hit back after the Supreme Court banned Senior Counsel Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi for continued attack on judges and the judiciary. Apollo Kamau reports on the intrigues.
In a month, the country's judiciary has been under siege from the executive. And now the country's apex court, the Supreme Court, hit back at one of its most vocal critics, supporting President William Ruto's allegations of graft in the judiciary. The 7-judge court slapping the prominent lawyer and senior counsel Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi and his associates or his law firm with a permanent ban from ever appearing before the court to present a case. The court, in a statement, says from the date of this communication, you shall have no audience before the court, either by yourself, through an employee of your law firm, or any other person holding a brief for you, or acting pursuant to your instructions. While the judges noted the inconvenience the ruling will cause to his clients, the court stated it is untenable that you would seek justice in the very institution and before the very judges whose reputation and integrity you never tire of assaulting. In what was the last straw to break the camel's back, Ahmed Nasir had supported President Ruto on the existence of corrupt judges on X. In the wake of the court decision, Ahmed Nasir, also known as the Grand Mullah, fired back on X, saying, "Isn't it a badge of honor for the most corrupt court in Kenya to refuse me and my law firm an audience?" Former Law Society of Kenya President Nelson Harvey also weighed in, saying the decision to bar Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi Senior Counsel and his firm from appearing before the Supreme Court is unlawful and unconstitutional. It will be quashed by the High Court, further embarrass the besieged Chief Justice and dent the reputation of all 7 judges of that court. The face-off coming on a day Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua dropped his petition against Justice Esther Maina, citing the ongoing dialogue with the executive. A statement that was met with outrage by opposition leaders.
Tayari umemharibia Jaji Esther Maina jina, na mimi nataka huyo Jaji Esther Maina insist ya kwamba lazima Gachagua alete huo ushahidi.
William Ruto, wachana na Judiciary. Hiyo mazungumzo yako na Kome. If you want to have Kome discussing, invite these students, let them be our witnesses of the things that you discuss. Na pia wamekubali ya kwamba mama mboga sasa yeye ndio boga anakuliwa, na ndio hii shida yote imeanza kusumbua sisi.
In the statement by head of the Deputy President Communications Service Njeri Rogene says, and I quote, he welcomes the statement by Chief Justice Martha Koome inviting dialogue on the critical issue of accountability of the judiciary, which His Excellency President William Ruto has embraced. The Deputy President urges all Kenyans to support this process. In this regard, the Deputy President will not proceed with the matter of the petition for now. Apul Kamau, TV47.
Interest rates will remain elevated this year despite inflation reduction forecasts. This is owing to the government's increased appetite for dollar-denominated loans that is crippling the economy. This is according to Sanlam's Deputy Chief Investment Officer, Dan Gathogo, who says that a reduced tax revenue situation alongside the depreciating shilling is pushing investors away from government bonds to short-term treasury bills that mature faster, while local investors are increasingly seeking dollar-centric and foreign investment options. And as Hibak Saeed now reports, the government bonds seem to be losing hold in the investment world. Take a look.
The market performance of local equity as at last year was at negative 21.5%, denoting the poor reception of the Kenyan investment topography to foreign investors, which translated to a sharp decline of the foreign direct investments to $500 million as at last year, in contrast to $1.6 billion in 2018. According to Sanlam's investment forecast, this is set to drastically reduce to an average of negative 10.1% in the next 3 years, denoting, hopefully, an increase in FDI inflows. Should this, therefore, be a cause for celebration for Kenyan businesses? Well, not quite.
The one-year treasury bill closed at somewhere close to about 15%. Is what in the dotted line. I think the message from that slide is that, yes, we still expect interest rates to edge upwards.
When projecting the volatility or lack thereof of the world of investment, many aspects come into play.
So we expect the Kenya shilling to continue depreciating in 2024, but in a very gradual manner compared to 2023. And yes, it's true, we've seen many Kenyans start to look at foreign currency denominated investment options in US dollars. And what they're looking at is return.
Expectations for growth is resilience again for 2024. How slowdown in global economies.
According to an analysis shared by Sanlam, the market performance of offshore equity within a span of 10 years would grow exponentially from 1.5% to 11.4%.
and the environment and is compliant with regulations, you're more likely to have a good long-term prospect.
This double-digit leap means that a lot of local investors are looking at foreign markets as better investment options due to the steady decline of the Kenyan shilling. This as government bonds loses popularity, with projections showing its decline as an investment option from 58.3% to 16% within a range of about 10 years. However, the coming bumper harvests are set to forecast good tidings for the investments as the year progresses. Businesses, however, should still hold their breath, as the Sanlam projections now indicate that inflation might surpass the CBK upper limit by mid this year. Despite a reduction in inflation rates in this year and the coming year, we're seeing a lot of interest rates from the banks rising. This as a lot of local investors are looking towards dollar-denominated investments. Hibak Said for TV47 Nairobi.
We take a short break. When we come back, we will have our guest with us and have the conversation on the inside. How to stay safe in an unsafe world. Keep it right here.
Wanasema wasemao kuwa elimu ni bahari haiishi kwa kuchotwa. Wakati mwingi natangamana na wanafunzi madarasani, sio kama mwalimu bali kama nahodha kwenye kipindi cha tasnia ya elimu. Na iwapo utanikosa madarasani, basi utanipata nyanjani.